tweet, the list goes on. We all have different worries, and the last thing we should be adding to our worry list is making payments. That is why QuickTeller, the fast, easy, and secure payments app, gives us one less thing to worry about when it comes to making everyday payments. With QuickTeller, you can easily pay your cable, internet, electricity, and even toll gate bills. You can buy airtime and transfer money to virtually anyone. So whatever life throws at you, rest easy knowing everyday payments won't be any trouble. Download the app today. Dial *322# or visit www.quickteller.com and begin to enjoy life with one less thing to worry about.
Smooth 98.1.
So, I stepped into the office today, and the first thing I hear is,
"Oh, wow, you look really stylish today. Where'd you get your look?"
this whole thing from Zara, Next, Amazon, Macy's, Fenty Beauty, Victoria's Secret.
Wait, what?
Zara, Next, Amazon.
They started again with ads, so which one is this now?
Now you can shop from over 100 international online stores. Pay in Naira and have your items shipped and delivered to your doorstep. Visit globalmall.quickteller.com to start shopping. QuickTeller. Everyday payments made easy.
With critical focus on the Nigerian economy, we see the bigger picture.
Making the economy work.
All right, mics are up. Studio's live.
Express 8.1 in collaboration with QuickTeller.
It is time for us to talk business Lagos inside of Business Express this Monday morning. It's the 26th of November 2018. Lagos, good morning, and good morning to Rotus.
Good morning, Valentine. Good morning, Lagos.
How's it going, man?
It's Money Monday, man.
Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning.
Emmanuel of ARM is with us today. Emmanuel, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Good morning. Lagos, join the conversation by sending us messages through WhatsApp. As the number for WhatsApp messages is 0809-444-0981. That's 0809-444-0981. On Twitter, we're at Smooth981FM. If you're sending messages through Twitter, please use the hashtag BusinessExpress981. And we're streaming live on YouTube as well. So it's Smooth981FM Lagos on YouTube. And that's it.
All right.
Lagos, we'll start with our first story.
Let's hop in. Okay, real quick. We're not going to dwell too much on the markets. It was down by 0.96% on Friday. Honeywell Flour Mills was our top gainer. I believe Ikeja Hotel was the top loser for Friday. Hopping into the stories. Lagos, you know it's an election season, and we're going to be looking at plans from at least the top candidates and the impact that they possibly have on the polity. So, Emmanuel, BusinessDay has this story here. President Buhari wants to open an entrepreneur bank. Help me out. What is this entrepreneur bank about that he wants to set up? What's behind this here?
Okay, so this entrepreneur bank is going to be like a platform whereby MSMEs, that's a medium-sized firms, can access cheap funds from the bank. So we've seen several programs the federal government and its economic receiving has done in the past. One is with the Anchors program for farmers. So we've seen the effect of this program on the agricultural sector.
Okay.
So this entrepreneur bank is just going to be a platform whereby MSMEs is going to be able to access cheap funds. So when you check rates at which most of these MSMEs borrow funds from the banks, they borrow as high as over 20%, which makes business very, very difficult for them, and also strips down their profitability. So creating this entrepreneur bank is just gonna make these MSMEs access cheaper funds basically. So when you even check our prime lending rate compared to say other countries, our maximum lending rate as at October is about 31%.
Yeah, say that again, Emmanuel. Our maximum lending rate is what?
31%.
31%, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, God. Okay.
So when you compare it with most African countries, for the likes of South African prime lending rate is about 10%.
Look at that.
While that of Kenya is about 9.5%.
9.5.
Similar with Zambia itself is about 10%. It just shows that our lending rates is very, very high.
Yeah.
So this makes business very difficult for most of these MSMEs. And again, most of the commercial banks, they don't want to lend money to these MSMEs.
Right.
They prefer lending to the large firms, oil and gas. So this entrepreneur bank is just going to create an avenue whereby most of these guys will be able to access them cheaper funds.
Okay, so what's the number now? There is an estimated 37 million MSMEs in Nigeria. Emmanuel, it sounds good. Sounds like a good plan. What the president wants to do. He understands what's going on. You've already eloquently described this here, but do you think that this bank would have the capacity to be able to at least as far as making an impact? I mean, do you think it's possible to be able to to finance this with the number of MSMEs that we have in the country?
You're right. We have over 37 million MSMEs. That's quite.
That's our population.
That's quite much.
Mm.
But I believe there's a point. They have to start from somewhere.
Right.
So they have to start from somewhere, definitely.
Okay.
So when you look at the Ankosborough program, definitely does not cover the whole agriculture or the whole farmers.
Mm.
But yet we've seen the effects on the agricultural sector.
Okay.
So I just believe starting from somewhere is going to be a very
Okay.
Big
So we'll see how that goes. It's a campaign promised by the president. We'll see if this entrepreneur bank comes to fruition. Let's move to the automotive industry here. According to the Punch, the federal government and Volkswagen have started talks on an automobile hub. I believe the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enemela, has been at the center of this here, because I believe he went to Germany to sign the MOU. They've now come here. They're talks. So, Emmanuel, what are we seeing with this automotive hub that Volkswagen is planning on setting up in Nigeria?
So from what I discovered, they are trying to start up manufacturing automobiles in Nigeria, and I think the first thing we have to put in place is our steel industry. Okay. Ajakuta steel industry is still a long story.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing we need to establish first is have a vibrant steel industry, which is going to be able to take care of and cater for this automobile industry.
Okay.
So I believe so. It's either they just start with maybe just it's either they just make it a gradual process, but I don't see full manufacturing of automobiles in Nigeria anytime soon. Yeah.
By the way, if anyone's interested, if you go to Volkswagen's website, when they talk about Volkswagen expanding in Africa, they mention the fact that they've signed MOUs with Nigeria and Ghana. Emmanuel, I don't know if you want to take a guess. Who do you think or Lagos? I don't know if you want to take this guess with us. Who do you think where do you think the automotive hub will happen first? You think it'll happen first in
Lagos?
Valentine, what do you think?
Lagos.
You think it'll happen in Lagos
Without
first?
a thought.
Before Ghana, No, I'm asking who will go first.
Oh, Ghana or Nigeria?
Yeah, where do you think it's
Let's start the Ghana versus Nigeria contest.
Emmanuel, what do you think?
Have you seen the airport lately?
Ooh, that airport is nice.
Oh boy.
They're not playing.
And we're
there.
busy talking about jollof.
What the Ghana? Where else the Ghana passes now? Their own version of the petroleum industry bill, because they know they discovered oil within 3 years. They passed their own.
PIGB.
They passed it.
That took us how many years now?
About 18 years or so, I think.
Almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades. Nigeria still hasn't passed it. So I don't know, Lagos. You guys should let me know what you think. If you think Ghana's automotive hub with Volkswagen is going to come through. Emmanuel, there's another story here in Business Day. How Nigeria's auto policy has encouraged importation of damaged Tokunbo vehicles. Can you help explain to our listeners why that is? Why the automotive policy that I think we established this in 2013? You're right.
Yeah, so in 2013, the federal government came up with a new tariff, over 70% tariff on importation of our vehicles into the country. So over the years, we've seen our naira has depreciated, which has just raised the cost of importing these vehicles into Nigeria very, very much. So what we see now is that most of these importers just import damaged vehicles, so as to cushion the effect of this high cost of importing the vehicles into Nigeria.
Okay.
To add, I think there's a 30% rebate on the tariff. So when you import and the damage or accidental car into the country, the customs, they give you a 30% rebate of the tariff. So this just even further encourage most of these importers to import more damaged vehicles into the country. So what we see is most of them when they import most of these imported vehicles into the country, they just refurbish them and resell.
So if that's the case, and that's not, I don't know if they're going to make any changes, because part of the reason why that tariff was put in place was in order to try and boost the local production, local industry. Yeah. So unfortunately, they still put that ahead of trying to get the steel plants in place.
Exactly.
We still have work to do. We still have plenty of work to do on that end. All right. We'll see how that goes. There's a development here in the oil and gas sector, at least with one of the players. 11 PLC, formerly known as Mobile Oil Nigeria. They've gone into, I guess it's a partnership with Air BP. Emmanuel, what's going on here? I think it has something to do with aviation jet fuel.
Yes. So. About 5 years ago, 11 PLC, that was what they were called Mobile then. They stopped the sale of aviation fuel. So now we've seen them resuming back to the sale of aviation fuel. Earlier in June also this year, they recommends at the sale of LPG, that's cooking gas.
Okay.
So what we've seen is that most of these firms, they're trying to just diversify their revenue base, given the low margins they're getting from PMS. So the NNPC, they've been the sole importer of PMS in the country.
Right.
So these marketing firms, they've been seeing low margins on this front. So it's just an avenue to just diversify their revenue base.
Okay. So we'll see how. And well, there's been talk that after the elections, we might see a deregulation of PMS. I mean, we don't know. Of course, this is just a rumor, but
there's a very high possibility
that it might happen.
Yeah, there's a very high possibility we see.
So Lagos, prepare yourselves.
Oh, does that mean it's going to directly affect the price of petrol?
Scaling up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again.
Hey, that means they completely take away the cap. Yeah, they don't control the price anymore.
Yes.
Interesting. So we'll see how that. Yeah, it's because the subsidy now, with the amount of money that they're spending on subsidy, that's we'll see how that goes. All right, Emmanuel, I know you cover tier 2 banks. Yeah. So real quick, before we go, can you give us any stock picks you have in the tier 2? We're always talking about tier 1 banks on this show, so let's try and see if we have any picks in the tier 2 space. Any picks here?
Sure. The tier 2 space we have the likes of Fidelity Bank and FCMB. So for Fidelity Bank, we're expecting the bank to post a very strong earnings over 2018.
Okay.
We're expecting the earnings to grow by 25% year on year over 2018.
Wow.
And most of this is largely on the back of lower loss provision.
Okay.
And also when you check our Fidelity loan book, they've expanded their loan book at about 8% year to date already, compared to most of the other banks, which we've been seeing a negative loan decline.
Okay.
So we have a target price of 2.92, which is a buy for Fidelity. Then FCMB is also a buy, and we're expecting our earnings higher earnings largely on the back of non-interest revenue, and also lower loan loss provision. So we have a target price of 2.34 for FCMB, which is a buy.
Lagos, please remember, before you make any moves on recommendations, do your due diligence. Reach out to a brokerage firm like ARM before making any picks. So Fidelity and FCMB. Emmanuel, thank you so much.
Quick look
we
at
got
messages.
Messages.
Okay. We can take before we wrap up. Now, Papi K sent in this one on WhatsApp. This is a joke, right? How is Entrepreneurial Bank going to be different from DBN, this Development Bank of Nigeria? Duplication of function is our mantra in Nigeria. Mundane promise, I beg. IK says, guys, this so-called Entrepreneurial Bank is simply a duplication of the roles of BOI and DBN.
Same message from another person.
I'm telling you, everybody's just, their minds are going in the same direction. Now, Onyinye Obijaku rather, sent in this one. It says, this Entrepreneurial Bank might end up as a white elephant project. CBN should reduce NPR to single digits and allow commercial banks who have economics of scale to lend to the MSMEs. Thank you very much, everyone, for sending your messages, including Rainmaker.
Yes, Rainmaker. I see your message about Ghana and Yinka about PMS. You see that?
All right, let's learn how to fuel our hustle next here on Smooth 98.1.
Business